Hey, what's going on? This is Armand. This is a Patreon exclusive. Me making my Antipasto. That's how us Italian Jersey guys call it. Antipasto. This will probably be a long video, so if you're not interested, no problem. Just go figure out the rest of your day. And also, I don't care how you make it. This is how I make it. This is how my family makes it. I don't add a lot of other crap because I don't eat all that other crap. And this is a very simple 10-minute process for me so I can go about the rest of my day. First off, I always use this tray. This is my Valentine's beer tray from my Peepaw, also an Armando. And 1967, 1968, somewhere around there. He worked for Valentine's Beer Company. And he brought a bunch of this stuff home over the years, and you can actually buy this stuff like on eBay for like 50 bucks or something like that. But this has been passed down through my family, so this is always the tray that I use, which you can actually hear more about Valentine's and all that stuff if you read A View from My Seat, which is my baseball book. All right, so first thing we're gonna do, salami. So we throw down a little overlap of the salami on here. We want to make sure it's really cool. What I do is I do these and I make them, basically I eat like a third today for lunch, a third tomorrow for lunch, and a third the next day. That makes 3/3 conveniently. I try to do it in 7, so that doesn't work. So I do it in thirds, but what happens is, so I'll make it and then I'll do the whole thing and then I'll let it sit for like a couple of hours. Let the juices really soak in. But after like tomorrow, it'll be really good. You know, tomorrow this will be really good. But the best day is after all the juices have soaked in, like on that third day. It is like unreal how good it is. All right, so I always make my pretty. So there's my salami. That's easy enough. Now, next one is ham. So now the ham is fun because depending on who is at the deli, they, no matter what you tell them, but basically sometimes they cut really crappy pieces. But these don't look bad at all. I've had like really, well, they're not that great. So I roll it, I make a little pattern inside on the tray. So other people have had this, they've enjoyed it. I don't normally share, to be honest with you, because like I said, I eat it over the course of 3 lunches. So I never realized watching like cooking shows and stuff how annoying it is to talk and do this all at the same time. So just so you know, I am, despite the way I look, I am not a professional, and I mean, should be, but I am not. But if you have a cooking show, or if you're, I don't know, father owns the Food Network or something, give me a call. I would love to make my limited amount of food each day for you. So anyway, this is no, that's a really bad piece. This is a bad piece. But we're gonna put it in anyway because I will eat it. It's still food. I don't know what to say. So anyway, so getting back to my book, might as well do a plug while I'm talking. A View from My Seat. It's nonfiction. It kind of wraps up the entire 2017 Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp season, which is cool. But then on top of that, every third chapter is basically something about growing up in a baseball family. And it was interesting because I got to interview my parents, who we've talked baseball for 40-something years, but I learned a lot of really cool stuff. I learned a lot of cool stuff about my Peepaw working at Valentine's and their ties to in the 60s there were ties to the New York Yankees and all that. So that was pretty cool. That's a good chapter in the book. You know, feel free to go buy it. While you're watching this, probably know, because this is a lot of excitement. You don't want to miss me rolling a piece of ham and missing anything. So once I'm done, while I'm eating this, you can go order my book. I would appreciate it. All right, so a couple more pieces. I don't know how to do like the stopping it and restarting and all that crap, because then this would be like, oh well, here, let me show you the ham, and then we do like in one of those TV shows, and then it's all magically done, and the host herself probably didn't even do anything. Wash my hands. You should always wash your hands. Okay, so there's the. Look how pretty that looks. It really does look pretty. All right. Oh, cheese. I almost forgot the cheese. Cheese is very important. So it's a sharp provolone. Okay, provolone. Yeah. Actually, just provolone. That's all. All right. Again, when I get my cooking show, I'll have people doing this. I'll have people be like, where's his cheese? Bring out his cheese. So, all right. So I cut the cheese. I'm sure Chuck Buddha will make some lame joke about that. So, all right. So we're gonna cut the cheese into basically little delicious blocks. And now I'm a little bit crazy the way I do this, which you'll see. Like, I love the pattern, because my thing is I gotta eat this over 3 days, so I don't want like all of, say, all the cheese. I don't want it all in like one area. It's got to be equally distributed, so that no matter where I start or end in a particular day, I'm still getting the same amount of cheese, the same amount of, you know, the ham, the salami, all that. I'm really a little odd when it comes to this stuff, but whatever. You know, I'm not gonna apologize. All right. And if you think this is, well, put it this way. If you think this video is stupid, let me know. If you think this video is awesome, which is what I think, let me know. I'm trying some new stuff. I'm trying to do a little bit of personal stuff here on Patreon. And it is Patreon because every month I go to their conference call thing and the owner calls it Patreon, so it is Patreon, not Patreon. Okay, so some cheese on there, right? Delicious. Okay, so this is the fun one. I have anchovies, all right? I hate anchovies. They're disgusting. However, what I do is, and my dad says this is a waste because he eats the anchovies. I open it up and I drain the juices. Because you gotta have, even though I hate anchovies, you gotta have the juice on there. I mean, it's just not the same. So, all right, I drain that. What I've done is I've kept my bag for the ham, and I put this in there and close it, because when my wife comes home, if that's all not bundled up, she smells the anchovies and she gags. And to be honest with you, I kind of gag myself. Extra virgin olive oil, EVOO, if you're watching my cooking show. I pour that in. Pour a generous helping in. Mix it around with the anchovies. A little bit of salt. The white one salt, black one pepper. And I mix that up just a little bit, just a little swirl. And I'm going to put that off to the side for now. Because now I'm doing, I prefer the Mancini brand. Sweet roasted peppers, okay? So we want to cut these. So I will throw a bunch of them. You want to drain it first. Not 100% like crazy drain it. I wash my hands a lot, just so you know. So we want little pieces, and we're basically just gonna. We still want this wet, okay? But we want to be able to sliced it up because that's also part of the flavor profile in this. Is we want a little bit of that, you know, that juice more or less. So we're just gonna cut these up. It might take a little while, but I use one can, and I'm basically just chopping them up. And again, I'm spreading them out so that no matter which part of this I eat, I will have a good sampling of pepper. Delicious red pepper. Now other people use other stuff on theirs. You know, like if you go to a supermarket or an Italian restaurant, not Olive Garden, don't say that that's an Italian restaurant, it's not. But if you go to various places, you'll get their version of Antipasto, is how we pronounce it. My father, it always makes my wife laugh because he spells things out. And so last year, and he has to make a list for everything. He's so friggin' anal, it's unreal. I would imagine a lot of dads are. But, so my dad's thing is he writes Antipasto, which is Andibast. Yeah, Antipasto. So my wife, who is from here in Jacksonville, from the South, not Italian at all, definitely not Jersey Italian, so she doesn't understand the weird shit we do. So she had no idea. She was like, "What is Antipasto?" And then my dad, "Oh no, you know, it's what we eat." And he explained it, and she thought that was hysterical because the stupid ways he does stuff. She also gets a kick out of when we say ricotta instead of ricotta cheese, or manigot instead of manicotti. And she also had no idea what agita is. Do you know what agita is? Agita is kind of like when you get a little heartburn. It's I got a little agita. She had never heard that. She thought I made that up. I had to actually look it up and prove to her that it is an actual thing. I'm not sure if it's just a Jersey thing or a Northeast thing or whatever. Although I don't think it is, because, a little thing here, I just read a great book called Devil's Mile. I don't think it's out yet. I got an advance copy, and it's the history of the Bowery in New York City. And it's a really good book, but they actually say agita in it, which is pretty funny. All right, so we're done here. Always clean up. Always clean up. So now we have that on there. It's starting to look a little pretty. You know, we got some yellows, we got some reds, we got some ham color. Next is large, what are these? Olives. I don't know why. Total blank. No pits, because who wants that? And then, again, you still got just a little hint of the juice in there, because again, that's going to all mix in with everything else. You don't want a ton of it. You don't want overpowering with that. So that's done. We wash that out. It'll move around a little bit, but you get the idea. So now look at all that. Look at all that color on that. That's gorgeous. Now for the final touch, we spread that on. And there you go. Wash that out so you don't get that stink in your house. And there it is. That is my version, which is the best version because it's the version I eat, of my Antipasto, which I've talked about on Armcast podcast. I've talked about on the Mondo Method podcast, me and Chuck Buddha, both on Project Entertainment Network. I hope you had fun watching that stupid thing. If you want to see more goofy stuff like that, let me know. If you are like, yeah, I stick to the writing, buddy, let me know. I won't be offended. You'll be dead to me, but I won't be offended. All right, everybody, you have a great lunch. I know I'm going to.